In this video, I'm going to show you how to place the front lower ball joint on this Honda Civic. Let's get started. Let's remove the wheel. Use a 19mm socket and take off all 5 lug nuts so you can pull the hubcap and the wheel off. Take this off. If you don't have a hubcap and a steel wheel, it'll just be an aluminum rim. And take the wheel off. With a 32mm socket, remove your axle nut. Make sure the axle pushes through, just like this. If it doesn't, you're going to want to get a center punch and a hammer, tap it through, or put the axle nut back on and make sure it's just not stuck in the hub, basically. Continuing, the lower ball joint has 3 fasteners, 2 17mm mounting nuts, and 1 17mm headed bolt. Remove all 3. This should allow you to separate the ball joint from the control arm. Just be careful of pinch points here. Push the axle through and pull this out. There we go. Get the axle out of there. And now we have much better access. This is quite rusty, so I'm going to put some rust penetrant on this area. I'm going to take some pliers and wiggle this cotter pin. Hopefully I can break it free. And it looks like it's actually a piece of wire instead of a cotter pin. So someone's been in here before, and I guess this is better than nothing, but definitely not what's supposed to be in there. So let's grab a 19mm socket, hammer it on if needed. And if you have to use a swivel and an extension, go ahead. Or if you want to break it free by hand, I have a power tool that'll fit right in here. All right, I'm going to get a pickle fork in here and separate the ball joint from the knuckle. There's your ball joint. Get the new ball joint into the knuckle and start the mounting nut on. The new mounting nut is a 21mm in size. Once it's snugged up, we can torque it down so we can put that cotter pin through. The torque on this is 51 foot-pounds. All right, that's 51 right there. However, the cotter pin slot needs to line up with the castle nut, and it looks like it does not, so I'm going to continue tightening to get it to line up. You never want to loosen to do that. Now right there is perfect. Let's put the cotter pin through, and we'll bend it over to lock it in. There we go, that's nice and tight. Before you put the axle through, I recommend putting a little bit of anti-seize on the splines of it. And then slide it through the hub. All right, get the ball joint seated on the control arm. Install the 2 mounting nuts. Snug these up. This one should line up and thread in smoothly. If it doesn't, check it because most likely the holes aren't lined up. Tighten this up. This is a 15mm in size. All 3 of these get torqued to 43 foot-pounds. Doesn't matter where you start. I'm just going to start with this because I already have the socket in my hand. That's tight. Reinstall the axle nut. I'm going to thread it on with my impact, but I will be torquing it, so as soon as it bottoms out, I'm going to stop. That's it right there. The torque for this axle nut is 134 foot-pounds, but unless you hold the hub from spinning or put the wheel on and go through the center of the wheel, this will spin. So what I'm going to do is put a pry bar through the lug studs that'll hold it from spinning. That's it right there. This axle nut does have to be staked, which means right here in this cutout on the axle, you have to punch the nut in This will bend it and prevent it from coming off by itself. This is basically what locks it, since it's not a cotter pin style axle nut. Take a punch or a chisel and a hammer and tap this in. This is perfect right here. You don't need to completely squish it in. You just have to bend it. Obviously, this is not going to straighten out by itself and back off. Let's get the wheel back on. If yours had hubcaps, make sure you line up the little cutout with the valve stem when you install the hubcap. Press that on. Put back all 5 of your lug nuts, snug them up in a cross pattern, and also in a cross pattern, torque them to 79 foot-pounds. Once again, the torque for these is 79 foot-pounds. Double check them. And there you have it. Take it for a road test and don't forget to get an alignment.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.